Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Why Royce Freeman could be a dark horse candidate to lead Cowboys running game. Are we overlooking Royce Freeman at all? When the Denver Broncos selected Royce Freeman in the third round of the 2018 NFL Draft, expectations were high. He left Oregon as the Ducks' all-time leading rusher, and many thought he would immediately be one of the more productive runners in the NFL. If you played fantasy football back then, you probably remember how highly he was valued without ever playing a down. But things did not go according to plan. His rookie season was rather blah, and he found himself in a committee with another rookie, undrafted free agent Phillip Lindsay. Freeman suffered an ankle injury midway through the season, and when he returned, Lindsay had taken his job. He spent 3 underwhelming seasons with the Broncos, splitting time with Lindsay, then Melvin Gordon, before being released in 2021 after the team drafted new rookie running back Javonte Williams. Freeman quickly found work as he was claimed off waivers by the Carolina Panthers the very next day. He saw very little action behind running back Christian McCaffrey before being released mid-season. Again he was claimed, this time by the Houston Texans, where again, he did very little. The Texans had a slew of running backs that year, consisting of David Johnson, Mark Ingram, and that Phillip Lindsay fella again. Freeman returned to Houston the following year, but just hung out on the practice squad until the last 4 games of the season. Last year, Freeman joined a Los Angeles Rams team that had Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, and Kyren Williams. But when Akers was traded away, Henderson was cut, and Williams suffered an injury. Suddenly the door of opportunity swung wide open, and Freeman played in 14 games and ran the ball 77 times, the most touches he's had since 2019. Freeman joins the Cowboys, where there is no clear lead running back. He'll compete with Ezekiel Elliott, who has returned after spending a year in New England, and Rico Dowdle, and UDFA, who is coming off the first healthy season of his career. Here is how the 3 of them performed last year. Ezekiel Elliott, 184 carries, 643 yards, 3.5 YPC, success rate equals 45.1%. Rico Dowdle, 89 carries, 361 yards, 4.1 YPC, success rate equals 47.2%. Royce Freeman, 77 carries, 319 yards, 4.1 YPC, success rate equals 51.9%. When you look at this group of motley runners, there is nothing about it that makes fans excited. The addition of Freeman doesn't do much to move the needle. It's perfectly understandable to not expect anything to change for him after 6 years of disappointment. At the same time, is there any chance this might work? The Cowboys' new free agent running back is an interesting option. Let's be clear, there is nothing special about his skill set. He's not a shifty runner, he doesn't have great breakaway speed, and he's never been a power back despite possessing a muscular frame. But here's what he can do. Freeman is very good at locating the running lanes and accelerates fast. He's not going to escape with jump cuts and blaze into the open fields, but he has the vision and footwork to sneak past the first level. His ability to see the blocks develop and then throttle up allows him to make the most out of what's given. His 51.9% success rate ranked 13th in the league last year for all running backs with at least 50 carries. For the last few years, Freeman has been stuck on teams loaded with running back depth that features players with more talent. No offense to Zeke, but the Cowboys don't have a strong talent at the top, and no offense to Dowdle, Malik Davis, or Deuce Vaughn, but the depth leaves something to be desired. Freeman has a real chance on this team because there isn't much standing in his way. Despite being the same age when they signed with Dallas, Elliott has more than 4 times the career touches that Freeman has. Not only is Freeman fresher than Zeke, but he's more durable than Dowdle. Dowdle has missed 32 games to injury over his first 4 years compared to just 2, his rookie season, for Freeman over 6 seasons. Freeman can also contribute on special teams. Zeke may be first in line for the lead back role and Dowdle might be lurking in the back, but both of those guys have things working against them and it could open the door for a running back to have one final shot to deliver. CeeDee Lamb deal closer than Dak Prescott's as negotiations continue. As the Dallas Cowboys continue contract negotiations with star players CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, a team insider says one player is closer to a deal. The Dallas Cowboys continue contract negotiations with star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and quarterback Dak Prescott. It's the storyline that has dominated the early part of training camp. In recent days, the news has been getting increasingly better with Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones saying the team has offered deals to both players. While no deal is imminent, it's becoming clear that the Cowboys are working hard to bring both players back. Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram provided another update late Tuesday night, saying that Lamb is closer to a deal than Prescott and will likely be the first to sign. Was told no deals for CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott yet. But source said Lamb was closer than Prescott. Remember, a deal is not done until it's done. Randy Gregory is Exhibit A. There were previously rumors making the rounds on social media indicating the framework was in place for a deal between the Cowboys and Lamb, but those were refuted. The good news, however, is it does appear progress has been made. The next step is getting ink to paper. Last season, Lamb had the best year of his professional career. He led the NFL in receptions with 135 while racking up 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. Lamb, who added 2 rushing touchdowns, earned first-team All-Pro honors and was named to the 3rd Pro Bowl of his career. The first weekend of Dallas Cowboys training camp did not go the way any of us probably hoped. If you haven't heard by now, Sam Williams tore his ACL and part of his MCL. The promising pass rusher was going to be a key player within the Cowboys' defensive line in 2024. He was participating in special teams drills when he went down. My first thought was, why was he part of that unit anyway? Williams was supposed to be a solid player on the defensive line under Mike Zimmer this season, so I just don't understand why he would be running with the special teams unit. This team already has a depth problem after losing a handful of guys via free agency this offseason. They just can't seem to catch a break before a season starts. They lost both Trayvon Diggs and DeMarvion Overshown a year ago before the season started. Now they lose Williams, and that could mean increased reps for the younger guys, but I looked around and found some players that they could possibly bring in from the outside. Carl Lawson. The first player that came to mind was Carl Lawson. He is a guy who can get after the quarterback and is good enough to stop the run. Lawson has played a total of 73 games. During his career, he has tallied 27 sacks, 150 pressures, and 83 quarterback hits. His biggest flaw is staying on the field. He only played 6 games a year ago, and in 2021 he didn't play at all. Lawson has only played every game twice in his career, but he could be a helpful piece and might be worth the risk depending on what Jerry would spend, considering he won't even pay his top guys now. If he can prove he is healthy and give the Cowboys a good amount of snaps, he would probably be the cheapest out of the 3 I'll mention here. Yannick Ngakoue. As a Cowboys fan from the Midwest, a player I got to see a bunch last season is Yannick Ngakoue. He played 13 games for the Chicago Bears last season. He finished with 4 sacks, 34 pressures, and 8 quarterback hits. He is solid in run defense, finishing with 6 tackles for loss. Ngakoue is a veteran who knows the game well, playing a total of 123 games thus far in his career. Ngakoue would be able to step into a team and also be a helpful leader on defense. He goes about his business. His best year came in 2017, when he earned a Pro Bowl selection, thanks to his 12 sacks and league-leading 6 forced fumbles. Shaq Lawson. A name everyone should know is Shaq Lawson, and if I had to guess, he or Ngakoue would be the 2 to keep an eye on. Lawson has been known as a run-stuffer for most of his time in the NFL. He was drafted in the first round in 2016, but never really peaked. He has played over 100 games and has 130 pressures and 67 quarterback hits. I think he has plenty left in the tank if given a chance. If this team is looking to bring in a body to replace Sam Williams, the three above are the guys I would call if I was Dallas. The problem is Jerry will feed us and tell everyone that he loves his guys, and we'll have to watch guys like Tyrus Wheat struggle for most of the year. This will open up a bigger chance for Marshawn Mealand, who I am pretty hyped to see in action. It will be interesting to see if the Cowboys will sign someone after doing nothing this offseason. This gives them every reason to do so. They have no depth now.